A U.S. government report has called for improved military deterrence and arms sales to Taiwan to counter the growing challenges posed by the Chinese People's Liberation Army (PLA) in the Taiwan Strait. In its annual report to Congress, the U.S.-China Economic and Security Review Commission (USCC), an independent agency of the U.S. government, recommended congressional lawmakers take urgent measures to strengthen the credibility of U.S. military deterrence in the near term. The commission says on its website, the USCC was created by Congress to monitor, investigate, and submit to Congress an annual report on the national security implications of the bilateral trade and economic relationship between the U.S. and China. The report also stated Congress should take either legislative or administrative action to resist any resort to force that would jeopardize the security of Taiwan in accordance with the Taiwan Relations Act. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes how the U.S. can help Taiwan against Chinese invasion as per U.S.-China Economic and Security Review Commission. Let's get into the details. This video is sponsored by War Thunder. If you are, like us, fascinated by military vehicles and technology, I recommend you give War Thunder a try. It's a military vehicle combat game which you can download and play for free on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One with cross-platform support. It has a huge variety of more than 1,200 playable aircraft, tanks, helicopters, and ships from the 1930s to the 1990s, which you can take to battle on land, in the air, and at sea on more than 80 theaters of war. War Thunder's been kind enough to offer all Defense Updates viewers a special bonus, which will grant you a free premium tank, aircraft, or ship, and 3 days of premium account time for registering using our link in the description below. So take the plunge and join more than 20 million players from around the world. China views Taiwan as a breakaway province. Taiwan is currently a self-governed democracy. The Chinese Communist Party, or CCP, has stated that it was willing to bring Taiwan back to its fold even if it requires force. During a speech to commemorate the Communist Party's 100-year anniversary, Chinese President Xi Jinping had stated, "Resolving the Taiwan question and realizing China's complete reunification is a historic mission and an unshakable commitment of the party." USCC report pointed out that Chinese Communist Party leaders remain deeply concerned about the uncertain success of an attempted invasion against Taiwan because failed attempts by the PLA to invade Taiwan or to counter U.S. intervention risk undermining the CCP's legitimacy. However, the report went on to state that China's increasingly coercive approach to Taiwan puts almost daily pressure on the cross-strait status quo and increases the potential for a military crisis. The report drew focus on the surging capabilities of the Chinese military, and the suggestions were the result of the Commission's assessment that the PLA either has or is close to achieving an initial capability to invade Taiwan while deterring, delaying, or defeating U.S. military intervention. The report stated that the PLA has already achieved the capabilities needed to conduct an air and naval blockade, cyber attacks, and missile strikes against Taiwan, the report said, estimating the PLA could, at present, carry an initial landing of 25,000 or more troops on Taiwan. Moreover, China has developed substantial capabilities to use civilian ships in military operations providing capacity for the PLA to land additional troops on Taiwan after securing a beachhead. Investments in amphibious assault ships by the People's Liberation Army Navy can be attributed to this context. In particular, the report said Congress could authorize the funding of the deployment of large numbers of anti-ship cruise and ballistic missiles, as well as precision munitions in the Indo-Pacific. In this regard, viewers may note that the relations between Taiwan and the United States is unofficial and informal, and is governed by the Taiwan Relations Act. The Taiwan Relations Act is designed to maintain ambiguity and does not state if the USA will or will not intervene militarily if China attacks or invades Taiwan. Under the Act, the U.S. is obligated to sell arms of a defensive character to Taiwan. The report stated that Congress could also authorize and fund measures to expand the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command surveillance and defense capabilities in the region. In addition, Congress should enhance Taiwan's ability to purchase U.S. defense articles and accelerate the process for their sale and delivery to Taiwan, the report said. The report added that this can be done by authorizing funds for Taiwan to purchase defense articles from the U.S. or amending laws to allow for faster delivery of U.S. arms to Taiwan. Importantly, the report stated that under these circumstances, it's become less certain that U.S. conventional military forces alone would continue to deter China's leaders from initiating an attack on Taiwan. The report also noted that while Taiwan had taken important steps towards asymmetrically defending against a PLA attack, the island faced significant challenges from decades of underinvestment in defense. China is separated from Taiwan through the Taiwan Strait, and China will have to move its forces across the strait in case it decides to invade. Such an amphibious operation is one of the most difficult ones, and asymmetric warfare could make life really difficult for the Chinese military. U.S. Marine raiders are training the Taiwanese force on tactics like infiltration, interdiction, and surveillance missions. Taiwan is expected to deploy the Special Operations Teams to various islands in or near the Taiwan Strait, from where they would be able to employ asymmetric warfare techniques to trouble Chinese forces. To know more about this, please click the video on the above card. Taiwan is also getting several weapons systems that could play a crucial role. For example, Taiwan is getting 135 AGM-84H Standoff Land Attack Missile Expanded Response, or SLAM-ER missiles, and related equipment made by Boeing for an estimated $1.008 billion. The missile would be very handy when it comes to taking out the Chinese warships, as well as shore-based launch pads. While progress is being made, a lot more needs to be done, and it remains to be seen how things will pan out in the coming days.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.